Dear patrons, you are looking at the temporary location of the Artist Discovery Museum of North Carolina.
Greetings and welcome to the Artist Discovery Museum, nc.org. This is not a cheat sheet, but I want to keep myself in control since I'm very excited about this project, my brainchild. My name is Balazs. I'm an artist, and I want to thank all of you who have been my patrons through the years and those who have donated to the museum already. And I hope that the patrons in the future who's watching this will also be as excited about my project. This is not about me, this is about helping others. About me though, I have been an artist for over 45 years in America, and I have, like many artists, discovered the hard life in the beginning and had to do a lot of what's called dirty jobs, everything that had nothing to do with art in order to support my art. And after a few years, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired and stopped hanging around artists and my professors who really didn't know how to make a living through the thing they loved most, which is their creative life. So once I made that decision, I started hanging around the bad people, business people. Well, actually, business is an art too, like everything else that you do well. And I've learned a great deal from business people. I learned how to represent myself without having to depend on the middleman. Now, this is a history going back a couple of hundred years, because for years, a millennium, artists who created represented themselves. They didn't have agents, they didn't have galleries, they didn't have salons. And they pretty much, if they didn't represent themselves correctly, they starved or they went out of business and started something else. Unfortunately, in the last 200 years, since artists have been enabled by agents, galleries, and what have you, artists don't keep the profits, so they have to share it with the middleman, who's not a bad guy, but the middleman is the middleman, so he gets in the middle of your money and the bank. So I've learned a great deal, and after about 5 years of focusing on how to make a living as an artist, I figured it out with the help of businessmen. For 40 years I have prospered. Now I'm 75 years old, and I keep meeting hundreds of artists who are still in the same rut that I was in and many others are all around the world. Especially in North Carolina, we have, for some reason, must be in the water, because we have a lot of talented people here in music and the arts of every kind. And a lot of them, after 3 or 4 years of struggling after their training and they're out of school, they had to support themselves, their families, and so they have less and less time for the thing they love most, and eventually they stop doing it. So this brainchild that I had is to duplicate what I have learned and teach others. I have, I think, maybe 50 more years to live. I got about 220 on one. That's a plan. But many ways I overcame the fear of talking to people, and that helped me to represent myself with architects, corporate people, private collectors and all, and eventually build such a wonderful wealth that I had my own home, which I designed at age 33 in Hawaii. I own my own land, which is very rare because in Hawaii you have to rent land for 100 years, put your house on it, and then you run out of the contract. And then I built a house that was not only a beautiful house, but it was a gallery. It was similar to this space here. This is pretty much a duplicate. I hope you enjoyed the short, brief tour you got in the beginning. Anyhow, I used my house as a gallery, and I used my house as a publicity place. So I would have every 6 months a wonderful gala event for people with music, catering. It was white, you know, black tie always to bring people in with excuse to dress up. The women love to dress up, so they brought their husbands by their nose. And we had wine and champagne, and I rented the string quartet of Honolulu to create an ambience of culture. To say the least, I sold probably almost every work every time in these events. And then it became so popular because I had the press invited and TV, and so they like to drink and eat free. So they gave me a lot of publicity as well. So eventually we ran out of space. And by the time I was thinking about building a larger space, I moved from Hawaii to the mainland for my children's education. Make a long story short, this is what I would like to do here in North Carolina, is to create a museum for the living artist by a living artist. I have lots to share with them because the professors who are professors because they don't know how to make a living as an artist cannot teach them this, and this is not taught to artists, so this is a very new concept. In fact, probably this is the very first museum in the world for living artists by a living artist. And in this, I will need your help, and many people have already given wonderful, wonderful help. The function of the museum will not be only the 2 events, and each year I choose 2 artists that I feel have gone through the struggle and can't live without being an artist. Even if they're struggling, they stick with it. Is that it's an educational place. I will teach those that I launch into their careers, and every way I can. One of the recent things I've done is publish a book. You're going to smile, it's a funny cover. Rich Artist, Poor Artist. They both me here in the photograph. Here's a crushed dream, a broken egg. This is success. This is a book which has the story of my career, because publishing a how-to book is not helpful. Everybody's life is different, every opportunity is different. But to teach someone to have the energy, beat the pavement, find the opportunity, and then take advantage of it is what I'm teaching these artists. The building that we tried to do once, we tried to build this 2 years ago, and we ended up with this building because we couldn't sink the building down into the ground. We hit a bedrock, and so we continued to finish the project, and now we're using it temporarily, so this is the temporary place for the museum. And we also live in it. And you see my works that are permanent and they're not for sale. These are something that I will leave in my legacy. They will also be exhibited in the museum. So the plan is to, we have donated 3 acres of these 10 acres to this project to build a building underground. And the underground building is for several reasons. One, there are no windows, so there are a lot more space for art of any kind. Also, the inclement weather has no bad effect on the building. The roof is the dirt, the sidings is the dirt, the temperature is constant, we'll have fenestration to keep humidity exactly where it should be, and also we will be building it in such a way that within a few years, which I'm certain is going to happen like with my place in Hawaii, we can add to it. And it'll have the offices in there and beautiful grounds where we can do other events. We will also have other events like ballet or music or throughout the year to keep it a center for culture, so to speak, here in Hillsborough. I will keep you posted because now we're getting all the prices together. The place is a non-profit organization, a 501c3. So anybody donating, any of you donating, it will be a deductible. Please visit artistdiscoverymuseumnc.org, all in one word. It'll give you how to get in touch with us, other information, detailed information about what we were going to build. 3D, beautiful, beautiful information on that, but as life has it, sometimes you can't have exactly what you want when you want it. But things are working out, and I'm very excited about the future of this. I will keep you posted and show you the blueprints, and we're going to do another 3D of this. This will be a lot simpler building than the one we did original. We lost several $100,000 of that from our own pockets. So, I reduced the dream, but it's still a very wonderful, functional dream. Thank you for listening to me. Please look at my art, Balazsart, BALAZSART.com. That's where my works are. Also, I published many other books. I'm only going to show you one more. Knock in the Night. Knock in the Night is an autobiography of up to my age 13 and a half. As you gather listening to my accent, I am from another country. 63 years ago, I escaped from the communist-occupied Soviets and in a revolution in 1956 without my family, and I ended up in America. They followed me, and we were united. But my first 13 and a half years has been an eye-opener in what is good, what is evil, and what is the best country in the world as far as I'm concerned. And Americans are the most generous people on earth. I speak 5 languages, I've been all over the world. I have never experienced the giving, the care, the respect American people give others. I wish the others would do the same for us, but as you see the news, it's not the case. But anyhow, I am happy to be alive here. I have 2 grown sons. They live in Florida. That's because they were born in Hawaii and they can't get the ocean out of their blood, so they had to leave North Carolina. And they're successful, and I hope I can do this legacy for them and for their children, and mainly it is a function for artists, to save artists all over this country. So when this succeeds, which I know it will, just takes time and energy and money, I want this dream to be multiplied and duplicated in 50 states. So I want a successful artist with money and with ability as myself to start in each state a living artist museum to help other artists. We have probably 95% of the artists in North Carolina who graduate from and are trained fall by the wayside and never become artists. And we have to stop this flush of culture in our state. Thank you for listening to me. I hope I wasn't too long. Please get back to me through the website, and I look forward to hearing from you.